Meanwhile, the Pension Summit in Abuja appears to be addressing certain concerns of Nigerians in the public and private sectors as it relates to the proper use of pension funds. This follows the array of issues being raised and responded to by the panelists and discussants at the event. The issues range from the availability of the pension fund for housing purposes to allocation of the assets to other sectors of the economy.
Summit is deliberately planned to coincide with the 10th anniversary of the sectoral reforms in Nigeria. Staging the forum in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, leaders and professionals aim to improve the industry for economic development. Now, these discussants, who represent the regulatory authorities of some pension schemes in Africa, started out by providing updates on the mode of operations in their countries.
One thing that we are also encouraging them that to make sure that people are also interested in pensions, you ask yourself, what can you add more for them to feel as if they can go for it? One thing is we are saying, if you've been saving like 10 million or shillings or whatever, and you're looking for a small loan to go and pay school fees, the rules are such that you are told you cannot touch that money. But then we are saying you can be lent from that amount which you have, because it's cash cover, so you don't need to go to the bank. You can agree on a particular rate as a scheme, and people can borrow money from their schemes. And because it's a check-off system, when you're making your monthly payment, you pay off from your pension.
In the audience are some guests with concerns about the pension scheme. While they had the opportunity to ventilate, the regulators managed to address their fears.
Today we face two twin problems. One is massive unemployment, even of skilled people, but also serious deficit in housing, such that in Abuja here, an honest civil servant, I have to emphasize that, an honest civil servant cannot, even as a permanent secretary, he can't afford the rental value of the property he occupies. Why are we not pulling out of this 4 trillion? Not symbolic schemes. I'm worried about symbolism.
What is the state of enforcement, particularly of the contributory pension scheme? More so when many of us inherited deficit and had to borrow money to pay those ones, particularly the pay-as-you-go. In terms of the 36 states, how many states have complied now? And how do we enforce other states to really comply and to raise the percentage of the contribution?
Even in the new act that has been recently signed into law, there's provision to utilize the balance of your RSA account in order to secure a primary home. And that will balance with the pension law. And part of the drive we're going on as a regulator is to ensure that all states rise on the system, and part of that includes even schemes that will bring primary homes to the contributors.
The global pension asset stands currently at $70 trillion. World leaders have continued to advocate the possible reinvestment of this fund in the various economies for development, and now Africa is hopefully set for that.
The governing body and the investment advisors to decide what's best, what's suitable for their beneficiaries.